I am the new West Ham United manager. With over £100 million spent in the summer, European football for a second consecutive season and a stadium capacity of 66,000. One word to describe West Ham United? Massive. That's right, I have replaced David Moyes as manager and it is my job to add more trophies to that rather barren collection. The targets for this season seem achievable, with qualification for the Europa League being the main objective. And of course the fans want us to be competitive against the likes of Tottenham and Chelsea, as do I. With several new additions this summer, including the likes of Gianluca Scamacca and Lucas Paqueta, I was expecting a rather quiet transfer window. However, after turning down bids from Roma and Napoli for long-serving defender Angelo Ogbonna, I was surprised that he came to me complaining that he wanted to go back to Italy. And as you can see, the conversation went rather well. I wanted to keep Ogbonna, but after some of the first team players came to me voicing their concerns that I blocked a move for him, I decided to grant him his wish and let him go to Spain. Have that, Angelo. He joined Sevilla for £3.8 million despite recovering from an ACL injury. I don't understand it either. So I needed a new defender, but with limited funds I decided to approach the loan market and turn to Liverpool's Nat Phillips, who joins us until the end of the season. Mikel Antonio and Said Benrahma joined the injury list, which made me realise I needed to bolster my attack. Croatian striker Dion Drenabeljo is a young striker with high potential this year, and I couldn't resist the opportunity to bring him to the club. And at just under £4 million, this could be a real bargain for us. However, in typical West Ham fashion, he injured his back whilst we were waiting for his work permit, so he will miss the start of the season, which is just typical. Kurt Zouma then joined the ever-growing injury list, meaning he will miss the first game against Southampton, and our opening fixtures aren't too kind to us as we have to play Spurs, City and Chelsea. So going into the new season, I decided to go with a 4-3-3 with new signings Nat Phillips, Thilo Kehrer, Lucas Paqueta, Maxwell Cornet and Gianluca Scamacca all making their debuts. And we got off to a perfect start with that man Scamacca heading home from a corner to give us a 1-0 lead. Things got even better for us in the second half. After some decent build-up play, the ball managed to find its way to Jarrod Bowen, who rolled it into the bottom corner to double our lead. And then we made it 3-0, Scamacca heading home from a corner once again. We were cruising and playing some exceptional football, and our excellent start to the season was capped off by Jarrod Bowen, who bamboozled not only Salisu but Caballero in the Saints' net to get our 4th. Despite Southampton's late goal, this was a performance that could set us up for a rather special season. Instead, it set us up for a 2-0 loss away at Tottenham.
Let's go! Come on!
Manchester City are up next, and it looked to be more of the same as Kevin De Bruyne gave the champions the lead with this lovely finish. We fall back though with Scamacca once again heading home from a corner. But as we all know, Man City had that Nordic meat shield playing up front for them, and he gave them a 2-1 lead heading home from a deflected cross. However, the game quickly descended into a battle between the big meaty number 9s as Gianluca Scamacca once again got himself on the score sheet, making it 2-2. Lovely finish from the Italian. As we enter the final minutes of the game, I decided to go for it, making us play a little bit more direct, getting early crosses in and shooting whenever the opportunity presents itself. And not long after making those changes, the ball found its way to Pablo Fornals on the edge of the City area, and with a little help from Ruben Diaz, he fired it into the back of the net to give us a 3-2 lead with just a few minutes left to play. We shut up shop after that goal, but we weren't done scoring. Scamacca popping up from a corner once again to seal his hat-trick and cap off an amazing 4-2 win against the champions. A huge result going into the game at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Following our away defeat against Tottenham, I wanted to take a different approach to this game. So I decided to use the 5-3-2 low block tactic that I recently did a video about. If you want to check that video out, there will be a card little button just up here or up there that you can click on. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any more uploads from myself, and leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it as well. It wasn't a great start, however, as Mason Mount was put through, and I'm not quite sure what Areola was doing, but Chelsea had the 1-0 lead. Who else though but Gianluca Scamacca to get us out of trouble. Lovely bit of footwork from him and a brilliant finish to draw us level. We were going into the game, and after Lucas Paqueta won the ball back, we managed to work it out to the left-hand side for Aaron Cresswell to put a lovely ball in for Jarrod Bowen to give us a 2-1 lead at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea did manage to get the ball in the back of the net, however, unlike in real life at Stamford Bridge, VAR was on our side. Don't worry, Chelsea fans, I know exactly how you feel, because looking at the replay, I don't think this was offside, and we got a little bit lucky. But I'll take it, and despite that offside goal, Chelsea didn't really threaten us too much, meaning our low block tactic managed to shut them out quite effectively. So it's 9 points from our opening 4 Premier League games. However, there is the small matter of the Europa Conference League to deal with. So our playoff tie in the Europa Conference League saw us go up against Swiss side FC Lugano. And I was feeling pretty confident about this one, so I decided to make some changes to the starting 11. Because it's West Ham in Europe, and there was no way, surely, that we were going to lose this tie. Yeah, we lost the first leg 3-1.
It's not acceptable.
However, when we got them back to our place for the second leg, it was our star men of the season so far, Jarrod Bowen and Gianluca Scamacca, who got us back on level terms on aggregate. Despite Lugano having a player sent off, the game ended up going to extra time, and our quality in depth shone through. Maxwell Cornet played a starring role, setting up goals for both Manuel Lanzini and Said Benrahma to give us a 4-0 win on the night and a rather comfortable 5-3 win on aggregate. comfortable, he says. Deadline day ends up being quite uneventful, though we were able to bring in young Brazilian winger Giovanni from Palmeiras for just £2.4 million before loaning him to Coventry City. Following the win against Chelsea, we welcomed Crystal Palace to the London Stadium, with Mikel Antonio getting his first goal of the season and Dion Bellio getting his first ever goal for the club. What followed was a disappointing 2-1 defeat away at Newcastle, but we bounced back well with wins against Leeds United, Nottingham Forest and Leicester City, with Gianluca Scamacca netting 3 in those 4 games. And despite not being able to offer him a new contract in the summer, Captain Declan Rice came to me stating he wished to commit his future to the football club, which is absolutely fantastic news. We were able to tie him down to a 5-year contract on £100,000 a week, although there is that pesky release clause of £120 million locked into that contract. But as I'm sure you'll agree, it's absolutely worth it because he's without question one of the best players in our team, and I want him here for the entire save. So with the Premier League season going well, let's turn focus to the Europa Conference League, and we were drawn in a group with Villarreal, Wolfsberger and Shakhtar. Both Wolfsberger and Shakhtar were dealt with quite comfortably before we faced Villarreal for the first time. We got off to a great start in the away fixture with Alisson Mandy putting the ball in the back of his own net after just 13 minutes. However, Arnaut Danjuma responded 5 minutes before half-time with his lovely curled effort into the top corner. With the game poised at 1-1 in the second half, Mikel Antonio managed to bag not once but twice in the space of 4 minutes to give us a 3-1 lead. Things looked like they were going to go even better after we were ordered a penalty and up stepped Antonio to secure his hat-trick. However, he was unable to put it past the Villarreal goalkeeper. And with just 5 minutes to go, Villarreal mounted their comeback, Nicholas Jackson nipping in to beat Areola to make it 3-2 before Arnaut Danjuma scored yet another brilliant strike into the top corner to make the game finish 3-3. Back to London it was then, and this time we made sure we saw the job through. Goals from Jarrod Bowen and Gianluca Scamacca in the second half saw us walk away with a very comfortable 2-0 victory. We rounded off our Conference League group with a draw against Shakhtar and another win against Wolfsberger to ensure our place at the top of our group ahead of Villarreal by just a single point, meaning no playoff game for us and straight into the round of 16. Back to Premier League action then, and with us sitting 5th in the Premier League table, we travelled to Anfield, a place where West Ham literally never win. And that trend continued when Darwin Núñez gave the hosts an early lead. Things got even worse for us when Declan Rice celebrated his new contract by giving the ball directly to Mo Salah, who teed up Jordan Henderson to make it 2-0. And our misery was complete when Fabinho somehow ran through all of our defenders and slotted it past Areola to make it 3-0 to the hosts. Safe to say that 5 at the back didn't really work for us this time round. Old Trafford next, and unfortunately we were not able to turn our fortunes around as Cristiano Ronaldo was gifted this goal by Thilo Kehrer. What are you doing? Things didn't get any better for us in the second half as Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho linked up to make it 2-0. And it would be that man Rashford to get United's third, our 6th goal conceded in just 2 games. At least Declan Rice made up for his error against Liverpool with this absolute thunderbolt to make the scoreline a little bit less embarrassing. We needed to get back to winning ways quickly, and thankfully in the game against Villa, Vladimir Coufal and Thomas Souček linked up, with Coufal getting his first goal for the club. There was also a return to goal scoring form for Gianluca Scamacca, who linked up with Maxwell Cornet to double our lead. And it was the 2 summer signings linking up again, with Scamacca getting his 2nd and West Ham's 3rd. And with that, a welcome return to winning ways for the Hammers. Back-to-back 3-1 wins against Wolves and Brentford followed before we welcomed Everton to the London Stadium. And let me tell you viewers, my heart sank when Anthony Gordon gave the visitors the lead in the first half. But when Gianluca Scamacca is on form, there is simply no stopping him, and the Italian very quickly got us level with this brilliant header. The big Italian then latched onto a brilliant pass from Pablo Fornals, and just like that, we were winning 2-1. And in the second half, it was that man Scamacca once again getting his 2nd hat-trick of the season with an absolute thunderbolt past Jordan Pickford. Our promising Croatian striker Bellio came off the bench and ran off a wonderful afternoon with only his 2nd league goal of the season. This 4-1 win capped off a brilliant run of 3 straight Premier League wins, which catapulted us back into the Champions League places. Our final game before the World Cup break saw us travel to bottom of the league, Bournemouth, and just by me saying that, you can probably figure out what happened. Despite Scamacca levelling things for us after falling behind to a Kiefer Moore penalty, goals from Jamal Lowe and Lloyd Kelly saw us slip to a really disappointing 3-1 defeat. Bournemouth only had 8 points going into this game, so you can imagine my absolute disdain at the fact we had just lost to them. Not to make excuses, but going into this game we were without Declan Rice, Manuel Lanzini, Aaron Cresswell, Mikel Antonio and Maxwell Cornet, meaning we were really stretched in terms of our squad, and I think the players were just a little bit tired given the fixture congestion. There was some good news however, as summer signing Naif Aguerd, or as David Moyes likes to call him,
Nissen Egaard,
made his long-awaited return from injury, and he will be featuring for us after the World Cup. Another one of the summer signings that we have to talk about is Lucas Paqueta. This is someone who I have struggled with so far this season to get any real output from. Just a handful of assists, 0 goals, and not a very overwhelming average rating so far. So the question I want to put to you guys is, what role would you play Paqueta in? He is currently switching between a Mazzala attack and an advanced playmaker attack in this system, but what do you think I could do to unlock Lucas Paqueta? And we cannot end this video without talking about Gianluca Scamacca. 16 goals in 15 league appearances, 3 goals in 3 Europa Conference League appearances. This man has been absolutely brilliant for me, and I think he's going to be my main striker for a few years to come. So as we go into the World Cup break, then we find ourselves 4th in the Premier League table, just a point above Arsenal and a point below Manchester City. It's been a fantastic first half of the season, but the question I want to ask you guys is, where do you think we will finish come the end of the first season? Get in the comment section and let me know. Thank you very much for watching as always, ladies and gents. If the second video is out by the time you are watching this, I'll make sure to include it on the end screen. But in the meantime, go and check out some of the other videos on the channel. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And once again, don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed this one and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, I've been Mbreezy. Thank you very much for watching. And until the next one, I think there's only one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.